Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm the host, T Money, and today I'm going to be doing my fight recap on the Tank and Roach fight. Man, this was a great fight for boxing fans around the world. Get a chance to watch the face of boxing, Gervonta Davis against Lamont Roach. This was so exciting, man. I was happy that I watched this fight. Let's get straight to it. So the first fight that took place was a 135 lightweight bout between Derek Scooter Davis and Jamal Johnson. Now, Scooter Davis is a young up-and-coming fighter. Got the first round knockout with 1 minute and 56 seconds left in the first round. He hit him with a good shot. Jamal Johnson tried to get back up, couldn't regain consciousness, and the ref had to end the fight. Scooter advances to 6-0 with a technical knockout. The next fight was a 147 welterweight bout with Angel Munoz versus David Body Snatcher Whitmore. Now, starting off in the early rounds, Whitmore clearly had the size advantage, had the length advantage, and was just throwing a lot more punches. Had a way stiffer jab. Munoz just stood in front of him, didn't really throw a lot. He was trying to close the distance, so I'm thinking that Munoz was trying to stand in the pocket with him, get some good body shots in with him, exchange with him. But Munoz wasn't really throwing a lot of shots. Then Whitmore just got the teeing off on him, had some good rounds, good jab. He's called the body snatcher, had a multiple body shots against Munoz, man. I thought Munoz was going to go down, but Munoz was a tough fight. Exciting fight to watch, but I definitely want to see more work from Munoz. He was a tough opponent, but, David Whitmore walked away with the win by unanimous decision, and he threw a lot more, landed a lot more. It was a great fight. Then the next fight was 160, a middleweight bout with Jarrett Hurd versus Johan Gonzalez. And to me, I didn't really know much about either fighter, but, Jarrett Hurd just looked out of shape, like he didn't even train for this fight. He didn't have any pop on his shots, didn't have any snap to his jab. They both was, exchanging some good rounds. Gonzalez constantly headbutted him, some swelling around the right eye of Jarrett Hurd. And, for the most part, it was a so-so fight. Of course, I want to see fighters take their craft a little bit more serious, come in a little bit better shape than Jarrett Hurd did, but for the most part, it was an exciting fight. It was a great back and forth. Johan Gonzalez got the victory in a split decision win. And later on after the fight, Jarrett Hurd announced his retirement. So I felt like he already had retirement on his mind before he even stepped in the ring. So that's probably why he gave the performance he gave, didn't really care. So, it was a great fight though. Next, it was 154 pounds super welterweight fight between Julian Williams and Yoenis Tellez. Now, Yoenis Tellez is a young up-and-coming fighter, only had 9 fights up until this point, got a chance to put a shot at the title and made every second count. There was constant pressure by Tellez. It was a good fight back by Julian Williams, but Tellez just wanted it more. He went out, he did what he had to do, and walked away with a unanimous decision win, winning the interim WBA super welterweight title. And then, it was pretty much just the constant pressure from Tellez. That's all I already seen from this fight. Tellez didn't really have to do much. Julian Williams didn't really go down. I thought he was getting hit with some big shots, so I thought he was going to go down. But you could tell by how his face was getting all marked up that he was taking a whooping on him. And shout out to Yoenis Tellez, young up-and-coming fighter. Walked away with the WBA interim belt. Then the next fight ended up being a 140 super lightweight title for the WBC title by Alberto Pollo and Sandor Martin. Now, this was a great fight by both fighters. Both fighters just stood in the pocket the whole night, had the exchanges, threw a lot of punches. This was a high-volume punch from both fighters. And to me, in my opinion, I feel like Martin was beating Pollo to the punch. He was catching him coming in. He was catching him on the jab. He was catching him moving out of the pocket. And Pollo looked frustrated in some of the later rounds. But Pollo ended up retaining his belt and walked away with an upset victory. In my opinion, those scorecards came out to be like 112 to 114 in favor of Martin on the unofficial, and somehow Pollo retained his belt. Now, do I want to see this fight again? Maybe. This was a great fight though. And the next fight ended up being a 140 super lightweight bout by Gary Antoine Russell and Jose Valenzuela. Now, Gary Russell actually lost the last time he fought for a title against Pollo for the WBC. So this is a chance at redemption for him to become a champion at 140 pounds. and going up against Jose Valenzuela, who beat out and outboxed Isaac Cruz to get this title. And then going up against a Jose Valenzuela who outboxed a Pitbull Cruz to get this title. Now, Valenzuela is a great boxer. He has great boxing skill, great ring IQ, can make adjustments in a fight. Gary Russell came into this fight 17-1, 17 knockouts, has the power, has the experience, has the speed and everything to get this title off of Jose Valenzuela. Now, both fighters was great counterpunchers, but the pressure that Russell was putting on Valenzuela, I could just tell that if that's how he's going to fight, pressuring Valenzuela, he's going to have to keep it up all night. So it was great pressure from round 1 through 12 from Gary Russell. Gary Russell had a speed advantage. Gary Russell was throwing way more punches, landed way more punches. I didn't see any fight back from Valenzuela. I definitely want to see way more from him, being that he beat out a good fighter in Isaac Cruz to get this title. But I can tell Gary Russell's mind was set up that he's not going to lose this chance to become a world champion again. He went out there and just constantly pressed him against the ropes. If Valenzuela touched him up, Gary Russell threw 4-5 punches and combinations back at him. You know, it started to see marks and mouses around the eye of Valenzuela. It was just constant pressure, and he kept it up every round, every second of every round. So by the time the 8th round came around, Russell landed a total of 132 punches. That is insane for just 8 rounds. Having 4 more rounds to go, that was just an insane punch count. It was a high volume of punches coming from Russell, and it was a great effort from Russell to want to get that belt. So Russell dishes the shutout 119-109 against Valenzuela and becomes the new WBA champion at the lightweight division. Now, the lightweight division is stacked. I can't wait to see his next opponent. I can't wait to see his next fight because Gary Russell is one of them ones. Now, we get to the main event, 135 lightweight bout for the WBA title between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Now, my predictions in this fight is that Tank wasn't going to knock Roach out. Roach is very high in skill, high in IQ, footwork, conditioning, has power in both hands, has sneaky power. Not really a lot of knockouts, but he can hit. He can hit pretty hard. I had this fight going 12. I didn't have Tank knocking him out. I had Tank winning by split decision, though. I knew that Lamont Roach was not no scrub walking into this fight. Just because a lot of people don't know who Roach is doesn't mean that he's not a great fighter. So, you know, first, I want to say 1 through 5 rounds, it was like a fill-out round. You know, both fighters were just feigning, constantly feigning, trying to see, okay, are you going to press me? Am I going to press you? What are we going to do? A lot of patience in the early rounds. It was a fill-out round. A lot of stabbing to the body. I seen Tank throwing that left hand to the body, trying to get some early body work in. It was good footwork from Tank, not standing in front of Roach, because Roach was trying to counter him with his overhand right as Tank threw the left to the body. So it was great footwork to get out the way of that right hand. Round 6 and 7 is when the work started to pick up. We started to see Tank and Roach stand in the pocket, just throwing, just exchanging. So, and I want to say this. Lamont Roach's chin is what made this fight a great fight. Lamont Roach's chin is what made this fight a great fight, because if he's standing in front of a Tank Davis, a power puncher, and Tank is throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him, and he's still standing in front of him and firing back, and Tank had to respect Roach's power, because in the 6th and the 7th, Tank got hit with 2 big right hands that causes him to stumble and almost knocked him down. The fighter standing in the pocket, just exchanged. It was the work was picking up around them later round. So in the 9th round, Tank took a knee, said that it was grease or something in his eye coming from his hair. And, you know, that was kind of like a weird thing to see after the rounds that we were seeing. And in the 9th round, we seen Roach stand in the pocket and take some of Tank's biggest punches with that overhand left and deliver everything right back at him. Lamont Roach has nothing but respect for me after this fight. I knew he wasn't no scrub coming into this fight, but after standing in the pocket and going toe-to-toe and banging with a Tank Davis, I have nothing but respect for a fighter like Lamont Roach. Time the 9th, 10th, and 11th round came, to me, Lamont Roach was landing the better, cleaner, more effective punches. Tank didn't really want to step to him in the later rounds because of the power that Roach had and the ability of making adjustments to every punch that Tank threw to Roach. So, you know, it was like a gamble. Like, Tank didn't really want to constantly stand in the pocket with him because he was hitting him, you know, and the fight could have went either way by the time the 11th round came. In the 11th and 12th rounds, the fight was leaning towards Roach, because Roach was throwing more, landing the more effective shots. And in my opinion, Roach won. This is just my opinion. The fight ended up going the distance, and this fight came down to a draw. Two judges had the fight scored at 114 to 114. Tank ended up keeping his WBA belt at 135. Hopefully we get to see this fight later on down the line. You know, these two fighters have known each other for a long time. So overall, I'm gonna give this fight day like an A. There were a lot of fights that was exciting, a lot of exchanges, a lot of new titles being passed around, a lot of new champions, people that worked hard their whole life to get to this point. And, you know, a lot of respect for Lamont Roach for being able to stand in there and go toe-to-toe with one of the power punchers in the 35 division. So I'm giving this fight day around an A. That will be all for my fight day recap. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.